Hello everyone, welcome to TheDouzePointe, the channel that awards the 12 points and also your favorite boutique Eurovision channel. I'm Khan
Hi, I'm Rin.
Hello, I'm Bogey.
and today we have a really different video. Today we are going to talk about our qualifiers predictions from the first semi-final. But after having watched all of the rehearsals, that's really important. The rehearsals gave us really, different ideas about each country's chances. And today we are here to talk about them. Yeah, without further ado, let's kick this off with Lithuania. So, who thinks Lithuania is going through?
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a lot.
I mean, do we need a reason for that?
I don't think so. I think that it's kind of goes without saying that Lithuania is gonna be there.
Exactly. So the second country is Slovenia. Who thinks Slovenia is going through?
No, sorry, Slovenia.
So sorry.
The staging didn't light my fire. Like the song wasn't there, and the staging also didn't help. I mean,
yeah. For me, the biggest problem was the staging. But
yeah. Third country, Russia. And who thinks Mother Russia is going through? Yeah, so it's another
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Russia is one of the biggest growers for everyone. I think they elevated hugely. I mean, it was one of our locks as well, but yeah, I think the staging, the message is so strong that everyone can understand. Yeah. So the fourth song in the running order is Sweden. Who thinks Sweden is in the final?
Ooh.
Yeah.
We are really good at this.
Sweden, I love the song, you guys know that. I'm also horribly biased. You guys also know that. But when we look at the song objectively, it's, the juries will score it well, but also the mainstream viewers at home are likely to respond well to this because it's nothing challenging. There's no kind of like, it's a really good mainstream pop song. So I think that thumbs up for Sweden.
As usual, Sweden will probably do better with the juries than with the televotes.
I think so too, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't see Sweden in top three, by the way, in the semi-final, because I think Sweden is the most hurt country by the fact that they're performing on a bigger stage. It lost its intimacy compared to Melody Festival and staging, and it's just.
I have them as my fifth qualifier, so to throw that out there, and I'm like a huge Sweden stan, and I still only could give it fifth.
Yeah, I also see Sweden like fifth, sixth.
Oh, it's my 10th.
Oh, harsh. Okay, who's next, Khan?
Next is Australia, which is interesting because they are not performing in Rotterdam live. Who thinks Australia is going through? No.
Somebody should just
it's the catchiest. It's one of the catchiest songs in the semi-final. That that Technicolor part is so catchy. I've only just gotten out of my brain and now it's gone straight back in there. But the song as a whole, it's got nothing to actually do with the fact that she's not going to be in Rotterdam. For me, the problem is the song is just not strong enough, especially not in this semi-final. In semi-final 2, she maybe would have had a chance. Semi-final 1, I'm sorry, but there's no chance. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
We want to go fast. North Macedonia. Who thinks Vasil and Here I Stand is qualified? I mean,
I'm doing this
yes or no,
because for me, this is one of the songs that I could see being a surprise qualifier. It's not my preference. It's not like a sure qualifier. But if a song is going to like totally blow us out of the water and surprise us by qualifying, for me, it's Vasil and North Macedonia.
Is it in your 10?
No.
Okay, next.
No.
So next is Ireland. Leslie Roy Maps. Who thinks Ireland is going through? Okay, so I can start because Ireland actually was one of my qualifiers before the rehearsal, but now I lost them in my top 10. The thing is, it's not about my preference because I still think Ireland needs to, go to the final. But it's just the Irish staging looks really cool, but it's also too complicated. I don't know if it will come together. And also, Leslie's vocals were from time to time questionable. I mean, I can't trust in this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there because after seeing both the first and second rehearsals, you can forgive some vocal, mishaps, some sort of scratchy vocals. But usually what we noticed was by the third run of the second rehearsal that the artists' vocals were really on point, or at least, they were giving us a performance equivalent of their song. And I found that even in those third run-throughs, Leslie's vocal was a little bit shaky. It wasn't as strong as some of the other, most of the others in this heat. The semi-final. As you said, the staging is a bit fussy, and there's a few. If it all works perfectly on the night, it's going to be incredible. But I never saw it work 100% perfectly in all the rehearsals. Things like when the hands separate the pages of the books. Yeah. I mean, a couple of times the pages stuck, so like you weren't getting the actual effect of the flip book because there was like a big jump between pages because they sort of stuck together. I understand that's a manual effect. That's actually people's hands like pulling those pages of the books. But at the same time, if it doesn't work on the night, it's going to lose its impact. Yeah. And that's what worries me. And that's probably one of the main reasons why it's not in my predictions or in my personal top 10. I really hope for Ireland that it works because if all those pieces come together, it's going to look incredible.
Mm-hmm. It obviously works for Bogie. Bogie, why Ireland is going?
Sorry, I was just like looking at my top. Well, I guess that Ireland was the first country that I see rehearsing, and you have just told us that some of the countries brought their A game, and for Ireland, for me, it's an A+ game. Talking about the staging, because that staging is the most complex and like
it's definitely the most complex, and
that's an A+ game actually there. I mean,
if it works, if it doesn't work, it's more like a B-.
I mean, for me, it's an A+, and it's a elevation for what Ireland was not in my radar, but with that staging, for me, definitely in top 10, or at least in my favorite top 10. I guess because of that complex staging, that I hope it will work in the semi-final. They can get through. I am mostly fine with Leslie's vocals because she doesn't flop that bad. I mean, there are some parts that are like questionable, but overall it's more than a fine.
All right, we are moving on to Cyprus, and yeah, who thinks Cyprus is going through? Yeah, I think that's no question. Let me say something because I, stand El Diablo. I'm gonna dare to say that Cyprus can actually win the semifinal. If not win, I mean, I see Cyprus definitely in top 3. I wasn't sure about that before the rehearsals, but it's one of the most expensive looking and most sleek rehearsals, and I have never seen Cyprus not delivering in the rehearsals. Like all of the run-throughs that I saw were absolutely perfect, and every single performance was semi-final ready and even grand final ready. Her vocals are on point. I mean, best vocals that you can expect from such a mainstream pop song. It's just so good.
Well, I mean, I have Cyprus as my number 2 qualifier in the semi-final. So, yeah, I agree with what you said. From what I saw of it, it was a very polished, very slick performance.
Norway. Who thinks Tix and the Fallen Angel will qualify for the final? Wow, it's a look now.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's not a winning song, but it's a good song. The staging is solid. His vocals are solid. But I tell you what, I have not seen a more perfect public relations game since Lena won with Satellite. I mean, that was PR at its best, and Tix is also running exactly the same kind of amazing PR game. He has done so much to let everybody see his personality, he's done so many fun things. He's done so many worthwhile social things. And he's sort of taken us all on that journey with him, and that will only help him. And yeah, I can see Norway definitely in there qualifying.
yeah, we gotta keep it real. I don't see Norway as a 100% sure qualifier. Like I had 7 qualifiers that I can agree 100%. I was sure about, and Norway was 8 qualifier. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, Norway is my 9th qualifier. So again, it's sort of near the bottom.
The staging works in his favor. It's nothing like very different from what I've seen in Melody Grand Prix. But it was very smooth and like without any sort of vocal or technical problems.
Yeah.
He kind of deserved that spot in the final. I mean, after all the hate he got at the beginning, like everyone, almost everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Let's move on to Croatia. Who thinks Croatia is going through?
This hurts, but
yeah, it's
can I start then?
Yeah, go for it.
Can I start?
Yeah.
Well, Croatia this time kind of has like one of the how can I put it? One of the most complex packages because the voice is there, the staging is there. She's extremely talented, and I mean she has charisma and she's beautiful and all the positive things. But I hate the song. Hit song. I am so sorry, but they deserve to qualify. I mean, it's for the first time they are trying something new besides those like Balkan ballads, so they deserve to qualify. But I do not like that song.
Well, you don't like the song, but she is my predicted 4th qualifier.
New choice.
And in my personal qualification, she's my number 2.
Up high. I saw it in your.
Yeah, she is up high. I love the song. I love the package. I mean, at the beginning, I didn't rate the song at all. I was like, oh, what a cheesy song. But actually, I sing along to it. I dance along to it. I was really impressed. Like for me, I think Croatia was one of the countries that impressed me the most in their rehearsals. I kind of expected like a cut and paste from Dora to the semifinals, and there are lots of elements that are the same, but they have totally elevated it, and Albina really delivered. Like I wasn't sure she was going to be able to, and she really does. It's a great fun song. The costuming is perfect, both for Albina and her dancers. The vocals are great. The dancers are great. The staging is great. I love Croatia this year.
We have Belgium next. Who thinks Belgium's going through? Oh, okay. So Rin.
Maybe you don't want to ask me. Belgium is one of the most boring songs I've ever heard in my life, and I just hope that I don't have to listen to it more than once.
I mean, you know that I like the song, and I wasn't blown away by the staging, but what else could they do for this song? I mean, it was
not sing it.
I had to kick out one country in order to put Belgium in, and I had to kick out a country that kind of has a similar kind of mid-tempo, slow-tempo song.
Oh my God, is it Romania?
Yeah. Yes. And but I think between these two, Belgium will do better. Because at least point.
Bogey's losing his connection. Romania just heard that and was like, right, Bogey, you got cancelled.
Yes, I mean, Belgium.
See, he's frozen again. Romania has cancelled you, buddy.
And karma.
Comparing the two, which are kind of like in the similar genre or something like that, slow tempo songs, at least Belgium can deliver a very clean vocal performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna mention that when we, reached Romania. It's good to mention that here. Okay, so we are moving on to Israel. And then Alene, Set Me Free. Who thinks Israel is going through?
It hurts me, but no.
I know, I'm the same. This used to be like my winner.
Yes,
and now it's not even in my top 10.
I am shocked right now. I mean, it was for me not a, I mean, I could live without it, but you guys,
I was like the biggest Set Me Free stan. Like, I was the only one out of all of us that liked that song, like, right from the beginning and wasn't sad that she was singing Set Me Free instead of Ooh La La. I mean...
I had it for, like, winner for, like, weeks.
I know. But she fell out of my top 10. She's sitting currently at at 11.
Yeah.
I just couldn't justify putting her in the top 10 when this last week vocally it just hasn't been right. Also, the staging has been a little messy in places, and I just couldn't do it as much as I wanted to, because she's awesome. But I just, based on this last week, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious that we're gonna lose a female bop in the semifinal, and I was so unsure whether I should put Israel or another country through. We'll come to that later, but I decided to go with the other one. And even if she can hit all of the notes, which she can.
She just hasn't this week.
She just didn't.
The staging isn't just, the staging isn't outstanding. When Israel performs, we would already seen Cyprus and Croatia, and those countries slay on the stage. And their stage is so expensive, so high tech. That's really important. But Israel is just a dancing performance, and it's just not lighting my fire this year. And lucky number 13 is next, Romania. Who thinks Romania is going through? Wow! Oh my God!
I have Romania going through, and I have Romania going through just because I was thinking about the voting public, and there is a ton of Romanians that live outside Romania, and there's a ton of Romanians that live in the countries that have voting abilities for semifinal 1. So I am putting my money, putting my chips on all those, on the Romanian diaspora, all the Romanians outside of Romania, voting the hell out of Roxanne and sneaking her in to the final.
Rain, I want to say that they already started the campaign, and there are a lot of pictures of Roxanne with for people living abroad with the number of phones and running order she can vote for each country individually.
Yeah, so they already really started. The Romanian diaspora is enormous. It's enormous. Don't underestimate the voting ability of expat Romanians in Germany, in the Netherlands, in we have tons in
Israel
all those countries
usually
that
gives
we have.
us points as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to hear Khan's opinion now before I will.
Yeah, I want to be shady because in this semifinal with 15 other strong vocal performances, if Romania qualifies with that weak vocal performance, no shade bogey for the country. It's about rock.
I will dive in, and I cannot wait for that.
I mean, if she qualifies with that weak vocal performance, I'm gonna be mad because there are many other songs that deserve to qualify over Romania. And if Romania qualifies and Belgium stays in the semifinal, I'll literally be mad. And yeah.
But I mean, we've seen weak vocal performances go through qualify before. I mean, you look at Sahat, absolutely weak vocal performance.
I don't see a natural performer, image in her. It's just it just didn't come together during the rehearsals, and I don't know if she can handle the excitement of the live performance, because it's a complicated choreo, and if it doesn't come across as emotional as they would like to deliver, I don't think this will appeal.
Khan is right for the vocal part, because indeed it's one of the weakest performances of the night, vocally speaking. So yeah, I can give him that, and the fact that if it were up to me and I would be the last juror to vote, and if it was for me, if she will pass or not in the final, I will vote for no, because with that performance, she doesn't deserve it. But talking about just the song itself, I am so sorry, but I can see this. If it was just a song contest, they will send the video, the music video. I can see that over Russia and Lithuania. I have it first here on my top. The song is amazing, probably the second best song Romania gave to Eurovision, but the live performance and the rehearsals were bad.
Anyway,
okay.
So
next,
moving on to Azerbaijan and Effendi singing Matahari. Who thinks Azerbaijan's going through?
This is hurt.
Oh, 2. So I would like to kick this off and say that this is the other female bop that I put in my list. And Israel was left behind. I I think that, the song has a really Eastern, really Middle Eastern, really Turkic, this kind of vibe. And we have Israel in the semifinal. We have also countries like Germany and the Netherlands voting in this semifinal, where you can find the big, like huge Turkish diaspora. And this is a song that will click with them. That's why I think Azerbaijan will qualify thanks to the televoting. I don't expect the big jury support, but Azerbaijan will just sneak into the top 10 because of that.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I also think that Effendi has also done a really good job of public relations, PR, creating a buzz around herself. The fomance with tics, but in addition to that, she's right from the start, right from last year, she's been so open and so approachable. Yeah, and I mean, the song is a bop, and I think it will appeal more than just the Turkish diaspora. I think that it's going to it appeals to any of us that love these ethno bangers, and for me, I love it. It's definitely. For me, it's definitely going through. It's not like in the first couple of places, but it's definitely going through.
For me, it's just like that I have Azerbaijan in the first place, talking about my preference top, but I had to see it with being objective and looking at all the other countries, and then the fact that Azerbaijan is even at the moment on the 11th spot in the odds, if I remember. And I've seen some rehearsals of her, and the second run of the second rehearsal, she was slaying the vocals. I mean, even better than Albina for me. She was on point,
and the dancing was better too.
Yeah, but the staging is so empty. The stage is so empty that
so empty.
I don't know. Yes, but it's my favorite of the first semifinal. But I mean, I cannot see this going through, or at least. At the moment, it's not like a non-short qualifier or a short qualifier. It will be on the 9th or 10th position if it will pass.
And also, I would like to say that in this semifinal, we have countries like Russia, Ukraine, Lithuania, who also throw some votes in the televoting, and also juries. So I don't see Azerbaijan not qualifying. In slot number 15, we have Ukraine. Go a Shum. Who thinks Ukraine is going through? Yay! Another luck. I think staging elevated this a lot, and it's just such an expensive looking package. It's also one of the WTF moments of the night, but in a good way. I mean, the vocals are so good. Like, Kate can sing really well. I mean, she's an icon in my eyes. And it wasn't a qualifier for me before the rehearsal, but it's just so elevated that I can't now leave this behind. It would be unfair.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what was really interesting this morning is that I listened to Solove, and I was like, wow, I actually prefer Shum now.
You know what? I actually felt that as well.
Yeah, and I think it was because with Shum, they've elevated it to a point now that it's actually become accessible. Like, it's actually become more I don't want to say less traditional, but it's just the way they've packaged it now is much more accessible to a mainstream audience. And, I'm living for Ukraine right now. They're my personal fourth qualifier in this heat. And they're a little bit lower in my predictions, but I think, I love this, and they absolutely deserve to be in the final. And I will be sad if they don't qualify. I'm going to throw that out there and be like, that and Russia are probably the two countries that I would feel actually like a little bit of heartbreak if they don't get through to the grand final.
They will be there in the final, I'm sure about that. For me, the staging doesn't work. I'm not a fan of the song. So yeah, I'm 100% sure they will pass because they created the hype around it. They managed to do that, but I mean, I cannot see the staging connected to the message of the song. She can really sing, and they will be probably up in the juries because of that, because their performance is the live performance is really good. But yeah.
And if you look at the voting countries for this semi-final as well, it actually is a really good semi-final for Ukraine to be in.
Yeah. Anyways, Last but not least, we have Malta closing the semi-final, and who thinks Malta is qualifying? Yeah, no question there. Yeah. So let's take a look at which countries that we think are dead locks for us. We agreed on Lithuania, Russia, Sweden, Cyprus, Norway, Croatia, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Malta.
Ukraine and Malta.
Ukraine and Malta. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually, I think,
most of them.
So this is what we think about the first semi-final and each country's qualification chances. If you like this video, don't forget to leave this video a like. Hit that notification bell so that you'll get reminded by the next videos.
And subscribe.
Yeah. Obviously, the second semi-final prediction video is also coming up next. Other than that, we also have an Instagram account where you can also follow our updates as well at TheDouzePointe. Other than that, show us some love. I mean, we just hit 150 subscribers, and thank you so much for that. Yeah, other than that, see you in the next videos, guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.